Hello and welcome back to A Foreigner and Family in the Philippines. And I know it ought to be just a foreigner, a lonely foreigner in the Philippines. I seem to be the only one interested in making the videos. I don't get the family in there too much. But on the same token, once we're moved over here, the kids will be here while we're doing stuff on the farm. But anyway, I have a pro tip over here, so that's the reason for this one. This is a Lakatan bananas. This is just a row of Lakatan bananas. It goes into some jackfruits up there, but I just wanted to show the suckers, the sword sucker versus the water sucker. And the sword sucker is also known as the root sucker. And when you're popping suckers off to replant, you want to make sure you're grabbing the sword suckers. Like this one here, that would be a water sucker, and you would not want to plant that one. Apparently they're not as productive. They take a lot longer to do anything, a lot longer to grow, and apparently they are not as productive. This would be a water sucker over here as well. That one, this one here is a sword sucker. Then you can tell by the leaf here, it's a more narrow, like a sword. And we just came through here just from the bananas that we had already on the property. We came through again. I mean, we've gone through and taken suckers several times, but we just did that recently. And I showed the video of the calamansi banana that we planted, and those suckers that were planted were sword suckers that we took from the property. We weren't able to make a trip to Davao to get the nice tissue cultures. The guy that we had gotten so many suckers from, I mean, just so many of those turned out to be bunchy top, which is a virus. We didn't want any more of those, and we have since, even after planting there, I found someone else to get some suckers from. We got some. We'll see how those go. We got those in the ground, but we'll see how those go. I felt like there were a lot of bunchy tops over there. Hopefully we avoided them. We'll see how it goes. But back to the pro tip here, this would be a sword sucker. And there's still so many, because you only want to have, like, ideally, it's not right. You want to have that adult teenager baby for your Lakatan bananas. With the Saba bananas, you want to have, I believe it's at least 4 kind of in succession there. They take a little longer. But for the Lakatan, it's 3, ideally. And so we've got some more sword. This would be a sword sucker over here. This would be a sword sucker. And because I've actually got 4 in this little cluster, although this one has a bunch of bananas on it, so that's going to be gone. You kind of want to have them, not just say, oh, I've got 3. You don't have 3 adults. You want to have the adult teenager baby, ideally. So we were trying to get it fixed to that, because we have clusters where there were just like a cluster you know what of bananas, and trying to get them narrowed down to where it's just the adult teenager baby. There's already some suckers, even though we had just come through and gotten suckers. There's already a couple of suckers on this one here. And that's another thing, I did weaken some of the root systems by digging some of those suckers up. So, and we do have this one propped up because it's got a heart coming. But it dawned on me, because I saw some water suckers and some more sword suckers here. I just wanted to throw that tip out there. I've actually seen some other videos on it. That's what gave me some knowledge on it. So I wanted to just kind of forward it and pass it on there, because there's a whole bunch on it. I've talked to some of the farmers here who have mentioned it, but because of the language barrier, I wasn't able to get that information out of them until I actually tried to tell them about it. But so there was an area back in the rubber falcata where Cielo and I, when we had first gotten here, we were transferring suckers, and I probably transferred some water suckers. 1, because they're easier to dig up, and 2, just because they're away from the tree a little bit. They're not as, yeah, and they are easier to dig up, and they looked better to me. The green they had the nice oval leaf on it, and it just looked real pretty to me. And I'm like, well, those are nice. These other ones got these like weird skinny leaves. And I didn't know if that was some kind of banana disease, because I knew about bunchy top, but like this water sucker right here, to me it's beautiful. It's like, whoa, I want to plant that one, but it's not going to be as productive as and grow as quickly as the sword suckers. So that's it. I'll stop her there. That was my pro tip. This is another area, and this actually goes back quite a ways. I have that same spacing for the cacao, banana. These were the tissue cultures. They got fertilized last. They're actually smaller than but they came from the same tissue cultures that we had, the only tissue cultures we had gotten. But they are looking a little smaller than the ones up front. And that's because I think as they were starting to get too big by the time we got over here to get these in the ground. And I left this little area here kind of blank just because it's got a little depression, and even though these bananas are moisture lovers, it could be a little too moist. I'll go ahead and stop her there. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.